Are you ready for the Low Bros Network?
They finally gave me my own podcast.
Gerry comes to the Low Bros Network. One of the biggest legends of the Irish wrestling scene, Gerry talks to his wrestling friends and beyond about the hobbies in their lives that they're most nerdy about in Talk Nerdy to Me.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another Talk Nerdy to Me with your host, Gerry. Dave, we're back again.
Indeed we are.
How have you been?
Not too bad. Suffering from the hay fever at the moment, but other than that,
It's a
worse.
bastard, isn't it? It really is. So many people suffer from it. But I tell you what, Dave, I really still want to use your beard as a blanket. I really do. It's beautiful, and you know, there's a very special little sound thing that you have that I would like to use in conjunction with your beard.
What's that name?
It's the moist one.
Oh, really? Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's worthy of what it is.
Your beard is worthy of moist.
To be fair, I use conditioner for it now and then. I know I have every time I get out of the shower, but that's another story. So.
Oh well, it's moist when you get out of the shower. In fairness. And I'd imagine certain lady friends, when they see that, they. I'm not even going to continue what I was saying there. I'm not going to.
You're better off. You're better off. We should explain just from the very start. You might hear like a bit of a fan going in the background. Unfortunately, here in our FM studios, like the aircon is broken, so we have to rely on the fan. Because otherwise, it is literally unbearable in here. It's like Florida, or like the most humid place you could ever imagine.
Yeah, well, see, Dave, now you've ruined that now, because I was going to tell the listeners that we were but recording on location in Florida, and that's why we had to. But you know, you had to go and ruin it.
I was actually going to say that until you've ruined it. Near from studios now, far from studios.
Far FM in Florida. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We had a bit of talk, nerdy to me, nerdy news the last time we were on, and I hope you've enjoyed that. So we're going to continue on with a lot of nerdy stuff. We talked a lot about Game of Thrones recently, and the end, and you know, I'm still not over that it's over, but I'm very happy that we're getting some new stuff.
All good bad things must come to an end.
Well, you see, but we're getting the prequels now, so I'm very happy with that. So we'll see how that goes. But another thing that came to an end was the end of the current Marvel movie set.
Right.
Endgame ended it all, or did it really end it all? And we have someone in the studio today who's going to help us kind of piece it together, where we currently stand, and where we're going to go in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome somebody who's been on the show before, and he's coming back again to talk about something completely different than he was on last time. But he's somewhat of an expert on this because he's what we would call a real nerd. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Vic Viper.
I don't know about expert. Let's not hype up expectations.
Dave, let's just cancel this episode now.
He's humble.
He's very humble. Well, Vic, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, you recently had a bit of surgery.
I did.
We won't go into too much detail, but how are you doing after that?
I'm healing well. Yeah.
Healing well. So your Wolverine blood is coming through now.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it yesterday, how the vicinity of the man himself, he was in Dublin, Mr. Hugh Jackman was in Dublin, and you felt that you were getting better even faster.
His healing powers must have transferred over.
Were transferring over while he was in Dublin, and then as soon as he flew out, you're like, oh shit, I feel bad again.
I don't know about bad, but no, I'm healing well. So I'm doing quite well. Yeah, I've a lot more mobility in the last few weeks. So
well, that's right. We wish you all the best in your recovery. A lot of people tend to be getting surgery now, especially in the wrestling circles. A lot of people getting surgery and getting certain things fixed, but it's only a good thing that you're getting things fixed. So
yeah,
and it's good that you've gotten this now and you're on the road to recovery. And will we ever see you in the ring again, maybe?
Well, this is the thing. To be honest, this was nothing really even to do with getting fixed for wrestling. Otherwise, this was quality of life. My back was bad, and it was either continue like this or get it fixed. So it wasn't really much of a choice. So once I'm healed up and once I've met the surgeon again, because obviously I've got another meet with him after a certain amount of time from a healing perspective, he'll help me make a decision on what I can do, if I can do, or what the next step is. But I mean, my plan would be hopefully to get back into everything, but I mean, if he tells me, you're not going to take it anymore, then I guess that decision's made for me, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, fingers crossed now it all works out and he gives you the all clear. But obviously we're not here to talk about wrestling today. We're here to talk about something that's far nerdier than wrestling. And we're here to talk about basically what happens after Endgame, basically the future of the Marvel Cinematic and, of course, television universe. And there's a lot for us to get through. So let's dive right in here. Obviously, we've seen Endgame now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Endgame, and you've not seen any of the trailers for the new Spider-Man 2 or anything like that, please be warned, this is your red alert, this is your spoiler warning. If you have not seen it, turn away or turn off or click onto the next file or click onto the next podcast. Do it now. Because
red alert! Red alert!
Good out.
Pause this podcast, go watch it, and then come back.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Not turn off.
Stop
Pause.
right now and come back and check us out later.
Check it out later. So go watch this stuff. Because you see, I set a bit of homework for a good old producer here, Dave. And Dave, did you do that homework?
No, I did not.
No, we
I have
did
no
not.
time at all lately. It's not even funny.
Oh, in fairness, he is a very busy man, putting his beard over many women as a blanket. Oh, the
They
look!
get me into trouble.
If looks could kill.
It's more like fingers that could kill. Points.
Oh,
Points.
yeah. He has one of those fingers out of Terminator straight through my head. But okay,
Close
right,
enough.
we're past now. We're past the spoiler part. So you know you need to pause this, so you need to turn it off, then come back to us after you've watched Endgame and then obviously trailers for Spider-Man 2. So obviously Endgame came about. How did you feel about Endgame?
I enjoyed it immensely. Like, it
Yeah.
was... I know, talking to a couple of other people as well, as I said, it kind of did seem like the final battle was pretty much like 40 minutes of fan service to
I don't
so many
mind fan
things.
service. I love fan
No,
service.
I mean,
I'm a fan. I love them servicing me.
But as I said, it was so many things built up and so many things hinted at, and it just... everything just came over, and there were so many callbacks to so many past movies in just that one scene that it was just... Nah.
The one thing for me, and we had a little conversation about this yesterday, and I didn't realise this, that you did a callback all the way back to Iron Man 2.
Yeah, when I said to you that it was... because it was Kevin Feige that confirmed it, but if you watch Iron Man 2, there's a point where during the Stark Expo fight, there's a small kid wearing an Iron Man mask, and he puts his hand out, and Iron Man lands behind him and throws a blaster at one of the drones. The kid in the Iron Man helmet is Peter Parker.
You see, it's incredible writing. Yeah, mind-blowing, isn't it? That even back then, even as far back as then, they were planning for Peter Parker to come in, which is fantastic. And so many other callbacks as well, even to one of the last scenes in the movie. You've got the kind of funeral scene. And you've got the young kid there, and I'm like, where do I know that guy from? Where do I know that guy from?
Yeah, from Iron Man 3.
And he's from Iron Man 3. He's the kid that Tony kind of, he helped Tony
He's the
hide.
kid he introduced himself to as the mechanic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so nice little callbacks, even so far as there was a callback to, now you'll have to give me his name here, it was like General or Major or Colonel, the guy from not Iron Man,
From Incredible Hulk?
Yes.
General Ross.
Thank you, General Ross. And he was even in the scene at the end there. Now, it was, even though it was 3 hours long, and it was a fantastic film, and I have no problem saying that I cried. I have no problem saying I cried. And unfortunately, Dave, there's a big spoiler you're going to hear now.
Whatever.
The reason I cried, obviously, was the death of the original Avenger, the original man that started it all off, was Mr. Tony Stark. Iron Man died at the end of the movie. And, you're looking at, and the thing that got to me most was, I just knew that he was going to die when he had that hug with Spider-Man. I was like, oh shit, that's Iron Man's gone. And then we get to the bit where he does the I am Iron Man, clicks his fingers, and then just like Spider-Man goes down and he's crying and everyone else is crying, and then Pepper like, you can rest now.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of different throwbacks as well, like in that. Like, as I like, if you go back to Infinity War, when Peter's being dusted, Tony sits above him, and it's the exact opposite way around. And the line Pepper uses, which is you can rest now. If you go back to Iron Man 3, when he's having the nightmares after Thanos and all that, or after, is it Ultron? Ultron. No, it's not Ultron, it is Thanos. He can't sleep through most of that movie.
Yeah.
And at one point, when Pepper's trying to help him, she says, you can rest now. That's the same line. So,
just for me, like, he was my favourite, bar none.
Yeah, I know,
of all of them. You know, I'm a big Iron Man fan. So for me, it was the big debt the movie needed.
yeah, but I even said, as I said, we spoke about this long before the movie happened, because obviously there was a year between Infinity War and Endgame, and we spoke about what could possibly happen, and I did say to you, there's going to be a major death.
Yeah.
I did say they're going to unsnap. That's going to happen, and I was right. But there had to be a major death that stayed.
Yeah.
Now, Tony Stark was the major one that stayed, but then again, he's not the only one.
Yes, we're very true. Obviously, you know, and when it comes to the film, we lose two people, and then there's one that we do kind of lose as well, and that is Captain America. Now, Captain America was the one tipped to be the one to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was slated to die, but it obviously didn't happen that way. But now, how it worked was, you know, Tony was obviously, you know, as much as I loved him, he was always the selfish one, and one that mostly thought about himself.
Yeah, if you
really.
go back to the first Avengers, Cap even says to him, you're not the guy to lay down on. You're not the one to make the sacrifice. You know, and Tony makes a throwaway comment when Cap says something about if there was a string or something, he's like, I cut the string. You know, where... Yeah. But yeah, his attitude changes a lot.
So you kind of you do very much get a flip of both characters' personas in the movie. Is that it's now Tony who's made the ultimate sacrifice. He's the one that has lain down on the grenade. And it was Cap who made the selfish... Or, well, I won't really call it selfish. He finally said, well, you know what, I want to be happy. I want to be the one who's happy.
Yeah,
now.
but realistically, he lived, done it all, missed out on everything, and decided to go back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's kind of two sides. He was still involved in everything.
Yeah.
But the world was finally peaceful, so he left.
So it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like the fact that he kind of handed the shield over.
Yeah.
To Falcon. In the end, and I thought that was very nice. But there was something, a lot of people actually were talking about this online, and I don't know whether it was a mistake or whether it was something that has to be explained in the future or wherever it may be. But in Endgame, Cap's shield is pretty much toast, gets destroyed. So where did the other shield come from?
See, I thought about this as well. So there's two possibilities. One is obviously because of time travel, he's taken it from somewhere else in time. Or, because he knows of Wakanda, he has an abundance of vibranium there, which is what a shield is made of. He just went and got Black Panther to help him at a timeline when he already knew.
Yeah. Okay, now see, I like that. That
because he had
sense.
the ability to time travel. Therefore, why can't he just drop into a time and place that he knows?
Yeah.
Go into Panther and say, "Hi, can you fix my shield?"
Yeah.
No problem. He fixes the shield. He leaves. He keeps it with him. Goes back to the 50s or wherever he went back to.
Yeah.
Lives his life, and then decides, here you go, Sam, have my shield.
Have my shield. I did find that.
Because the only place that vibranium exists is
in Wakanda.
Yeah, so
I have to say, from start to finish, absolutely amazing film. Obviously, we lost Black Widow as well.
Yeah.
Which, I think, in a way, was a very throwaway death. They didn't really give her the death that she deserved. It was
well, no,
throwaway.
apparently what they were originally going to do was have Hawkeye and Widow die, or have a bit more of a fight there on that. Not die. Both of them have a fight there with Chitauri on the rock while Red Skull knows there.
Yeah.
But they decided that it should be more of an intimate moment. So they tried to give it more impact by doing that, which...
It was definitely an intimate moment between the two of them.
Yeah.
But I just felt for me it was more of a throwaway death than anybody else's. I think even Gamora's death from Infinity War in the same spot for the same reason was less of a throwaway because it was really...
No, because if you think about, in Infinity War, Gamora's death is to show Thanos will sacrifice a life.
Yeah.
Where, you know, on the Avengers side, Steve has always said, we don't sacrifice lives. We don't trade lives. Yet, technically, they traded their own lives to save. So it's not a throwaway. It's actually the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay, well, that's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah, absolutely. But obviously we came to the end, and it was the first Marvel movie, I think, ever that didn't have a after credit scene.
Yeah.
Am I right by that? Which
all it had was the sound.
the sound of the iron of him smashing the iron, which is
him from the first movie creating the very first Iron Man Mark 1 armor. Yeah.
So we have now. So obviously, a lot of people believe that Endgame is the end of the current phase. It's Phase 3. Am I right?
Yeah,
Phase 3. So it's the end of Phase 3, but it's not really.
No, Marvel
Spider-Man
said
2
that
is.
Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of Phase 3.
So I'm assuming that we're going to have something blockbuster at the end of this movie to say, okay, and now we're going to move on to the next phase.
Onto Phase 4, yeah. There's obviously got to be
something big.
Yeah, big.
So if you... Now, this is, again, more spoilers coming here, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not watched the trailers. But the first trailer, me and you discussed this as well. When we saw the first trailer for Spider-Man 2, you didn't know whether it was going to be before Infinity War or after.
No, because, as I said, the way they released the first trailer, they made sure to not show him in the Iron Spider suit. And I think that was done as a way to make you think that it could possibly be before Infinity War.
Yeah.
So therefore, because the snap hadn't been fixed,
Yeah.
you don't know if he's back,
or if it's
if
before,
it's
or,
before
if it's
or
after,
when.
yeah.
And it's not a giveaway, because I know other people were giving out saying, well, that's stupid because you know he's brought back. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, actually, you don't. And it was only after Endgame was released did they release a second trailer where you see the Iron Spider
And
outfit. And you're like, okay,
yeah.
so we know at this point he's back. You know he has the second suit, and you know it goes from there.
So we see in that trailer that obviously he's still in mourning for Tony, because Tony really did become the father he never had. And you see him talking to Happy about, Tony really loved you, and you were part of the family, you were an Avenger and whatnot. But then we see the returning Nick Fury.
Yes.
And then it's hinted, just in very, very small amount of time, it's hinted at multiple universes because of
the multiverse theory.
The multiverses.
Yeah, which was thought about and spoken briefly in other movies, but never confirmed, really. And this obviously confirms it, because Mysterio is confirmed that he is from a different universe.
So, to me, that it looks like that's... I think you look at that and go, right, that's the perfect way to introduce now all these other superheroes that they've now acquired from Fox.
Well, yeah, they've two ways. One, they've multiverse, and two, as was explained in Endgame by Tilda Swinton, she explained that any change automatically creates a new timeline.
So you're looking possibility of multiple timelines running concurrently.
With Captain America even going back, there's no guarantee that that's the same timeline.
Lots could have changed, yeah.
Even though, as when her and Bruce are discussing it, they say that, well, if we bring back like the stones to exactly where we picked them up, then surely they never look like they've been removed, and therefore there's no break in the timeline. But we don't know that that's 100% true either.
But the possibilities now are literally endless when it comes to...
Yeah, because they've opened up time travel, and they've opened up a multiverse theory. So therefore they've two different ways of doing it. So, and we know the universe has tons of other aliens and characters in it as well. Like, I mean, with Captain Marvel, we got the Skrulls.
Yes.
The introduction of them, which, if they go near any of the comics later on, which would be like the secret invasions of the Skrulls, and a big part of that was Fantastic Four, but we know they're probably not coming until Phase 5.
Right, okay, so do you think it's going to be that far ahead?
Yeah.
So we're talking maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe?
It could be 5, 6 years, who knows?
You see, for me, the original, you've got the original 3 Fantastic Four movies. You've got the 2 from a couple of years ago, and then the more recent one. I'd be honest, I'm not a big fan.
None of them are good.
I'm not a big...
No.
But so, okay, the films, you believe the films aren't good, but what did you... In terms of comic-wise, are they good? Are they...
I mean, in the most part, they seem to stick in the first movie, the very first one, with, like, Jessica Alba and that in it, to... And, funny enough, Chris Evans playing the Human Torch, they stuck very close to the origin of how they came about. But other than that, really, no, there was very little good in the movies. They were just bad adaptations. But I mean, if you take back to when Sony did the Spider-Man movies, those Sam Raimi movies are awful. They're 3 of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
You see, I don't mind the first 2. I really don't. I don't mind the first 2. They wouldn't be my favourite films of all time. Don't get me wrong, they really wouldn't.
I mean, even looking, Andrew Garfield was a better, to me, Spider-Man, instantly. Now, Tom Holland is better again.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Of the three,
Tom Holland has been the best.
Yes.
But for me, there were certain things about those films that I did like. Now the third one, we're not even going to talk about the third one because that was just awful. Tom Hardy is so much better as Venom.
As Eddie Brock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much better.
Of course.
But there was one thing that I did like about the second film, and that was Doc Ock.
Right, Doc Ock was done well. Yes, I will give Doc Ock was done well.
Yeah.
And it was a great idea, and he was a great character. And I mean, I'd hoped with that, and even with the Andrew Garfield ones, they teased the Sinister Six as well.
Yes.
And I'd really hoped they'd move into that, but they haven't done it. But then again, now that they do have the rights for Spider-Man, well, partially have the rights for Spider-Man, because they'd agreed a 6-movie deal, which was 3 single movies and 3 ensemble movies. So obviously that's Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. That's 3. And then there's Spider-Man
2 and then Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 4. Yeah, so... But... Nothing to say that they...
It can't end with just that. There has to be more Tom Holland.
Yeah, but
Spider-Man.
anyone who works for Sony, if they're making millions and millions of this, they're not just going to go, no, we told you can have 6, but we're just going to take it back and do nothing with it for 5 years. Like, they're just going to resell the rights again at a higher rate.
Of course,
so,
yeah. And of course, Marvel, Disney are going to... Yeah, no problem. There you go. There's loads of money. Look what they did with Star Wars. Spent $4 billion on Star Wars. Yeah. I don't even know the number they've spent to acquire the Fox assets, but I'm assuming it's in the billions as well.
Well, yeah,
billions and Donald Trump, billions and billions and billions. It more than likely is. But wouldn't you pay that?
Yeah, because if their movies are grossing over $1 billion a go, then
look at Endgame now, and Endgame is very, very close to beating the number one film ever, which was Avatar. And it's literally within a couple of million now of beating it.
Yeah.
It hasn't actually beaten it yet. We did talk about this last week, or 2 weeks ago. And it was only a couple hundred million. And now it's even closer again. Yeah. And it's guaranteed it's going to beat it. Guaranteed it's going to beat it.
It looks like it will, yeah.
So look at that. You're talking about close to $3 billion for one movie.
Yeah.
So why would you say no to that?
Exactly.
You're not going to say no to that.
But as I said, they might do the same thing where they go, you can have them for 3 movies again. You can have them for 4 movies. But last time... Let's just throw a number and say it was 50 million to have them, or it was 100 million. Next time it's going to be 400 million.
Yeah. Now there was another topic I spoke to you about is the rumor that Sony, and I'm assuming that Sony, if they get this deal done, then they'll be more inclined to allow Disney to make more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
But it's the rumor that they want Tom Hardy's Venom included in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And how would you feel about that? Because for me, amazing. Amazing.
The thing with this is, I was thinking about this. He cannot exist in the same universe right now. For a simple reason. Well, right, in my thought, anyway. Because if the timeline is the same timeline, and Venom came out in, last year?
Last year, I think it was.
So if that was supposed to be filmed and take place in 2018, at a point when Eddie Brock is first introduced to the symbiote, and he learns it's an alien, it's a shock. Yet the Chitauri attacked in 2012. Aliens shouldn't be a shock.
Yes,
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Where were you on the planet that you didn't hear about that attack?
Yeah, true. And the fact that he's a journalist.
And it was, Right. So, and he also said at the start of the movie, I left New York. It's not possible.
Yeah.
But, with Mysterio coming in, and a multiverse theory, that doesn't mean that he can't be in a different universe that Spider-Man visits, or Venom visits Spider-Man's universe. Or our universe, the 616. But
I'd love to see it. I would. Ever since the third Spider-Man.
It doesn't mean it can't happen, but there'd have to be an explanation, because otherwise they either need to fix when that happened and say that Venom was filmed in 2010 before the Chitauri appeared, and therefore that was the shock at the alien thing, and then that it's been he's had the symbiote now for 10 years or whatever, and then he meets Spider-Man. Or, like, but then you also have when everything else was going on, where was he?
Yeah.
Because that was one of the questions people had with Doctor Strange when the Chitauri attacked. But yet we saw where all the wizards were.
Yes.
That was answered in Endgame. So...
Yeah, but you could also say where was Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
During it all.
Oh, that was explained.
Yeah, but like, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Go on.
She explained that, as she said, she's like, "Oh, you're looking after a planet. Great, I've been looking after a couple of galaxies."
Yes, okay, no, I get that, right, okay.
And as she said,
fine.
She goes...
But why didn't Fury, send the old message and bring her home?
Obviously he decided not to, for whatever reason. But, I mean, that's just their way of retconning it, is that was her explanation. And it's an explanation. The way of retconning where Doctor Strange and the rest of them was doing what they did in Endgame. Yeah. That's been retconned. They'd have to go and retcon again to explain where Venom was, and that's just...
They're not going to do that.
No, but the multiverse theory drops in, and they can go, yep, Spider-Man visits a different universe, arrives, and you're like, oh, what the hell is this? And he meets Venom.
Yeah. Well, you've got the possibility of Venom coming in Spider-Man 3, and let's say it was multiverse then, but then you've got so much more that can be entered into it from the deal with Fox.
Yeah.
So obviously Disney have now bought Fox. It's not a deal. They have bought
it.
Right. So it's like them buying Marvel. It's like them buying Star Wars.
Yeah.
They own it now.
Yeah, they've said they now have the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, and they have said they're going to bring them into the movies.
Yes.
In some way or shape or form.
Yeah.
But not during Phase 4.
No.
Kevin Feige has come out and said, not till Phase 5 at least.
You see, Kevin Feige, he had this grand plan of 10 years, and absolutely fantastic. There's something... For me, and I know what you said there a little while ago, that there is no grand 10-year plan.
No,
I'm sure
has phases.
Of
course he has phase plans, but I don't think he has as grand of a long scheme plan. Is basically what he was saying. That it's not going to be a 10-year, everything linked together to that. It's probably going to be smaller phases, but everything links in each phase. And it's still, like, Marvel ain't going to do what they just throw away stuff and just do a movie in between that doesn't make sense. They're going to try and keep everything
is still going to be connected in some sort of way.
They try and always keep everything as a throwback or as it makes sense later, or after, if they make a new movie, like I said, they retcon where the person was or what happened, or they try and fill it in so that there's an answer.
Well, let's look at the confirmed movies that we have. Obviously, we have Spider-Man 2 coming out, and it's about a month before it comes out. Cannot wait for that. That looks absolutely fantastic. If you have not seen the trailer, please see the trailer. Watch Endgame, watch the trailer. Absolutely brilliant.
It's interesting watching the trailer because they seem to, again, they've put it forward in a very particular way, but I don't think the way the trailer is shown to us is what the movie is going to be.
No, God, no. But that's classic Marvel. That's what they do.
Yeah, because, like, for me, Mysterio is always one of Spider-Man's enemies.
Yes.
He was one of the original members of the Sinister Six as well. So, now, obviously, their idea is that he's in a different universe. But Mysterio was never magical, and it looks in this like he's magical. He used illusions, was his thing. But
very good.
In the trailers, it looks like Spider-Man's having a tough time dealing with the elementals that Mysterio is fighting as well with him. But it looks like he's supposed to be working with him and all. But the way I think
there's
about
a heel turn in there.
The way I think it is, he is making it to seem so he can a false sense of security and lead them into something, but that the elementals are not actually elementals; they're illusions he's created, and that's how he can beat them.
So everything you're seeing is just an illusion,
creating the illusions, and that's why Spider-Man can't beat them, but that's how he can.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, obviously, this is pure
speculation
in my head.
Pure speculation,
But
that looks
that
good.
means then that he leads into then becoming one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And opens up
There's
possible.
one thing from me, and it's always kind of been a gripe that I've had, is that why do villains in Marvel movies always have to die? And it's something that obviously Thanos was the one that was there from the very beginning. So he was the big bad guy, and he was there for the 10 years, and he eventually, came to an abrupt end when Tony did the
but I mean,
switch. But there were so many good villains throughout the whole thing that just they died after one movie. I'm like, why did you have to kill them off? It's like, look at Ultron. I thought Ultron was amazing. Why couldn't he have lasted one more movie?
Yeah, But I mean, at the end of the day, he was an AI. Yeah. He was a robot.
Yeah, I know.
So...
Yeah, but you're a comic book... Yeah, true, very true. Yeah, no, I get that. But you're a big comic book fan, and obviously villains don't die quite as easily in the comic books.
No, and a lot of the time, if they do, they're retconned to come back. And even like characters that have died, like Vision's gone.
Yes.
In Infinity War. Mm-hmm. He is not brought back in Endgame.
No.
But...
He's barely even mentioned in Endgame.
No, he's not mentioned. But in the comics, he starts off the way he looks in the movies, where he's like red and green and colourful, and there's a point where he doesn't have the stone in his head in the comics, and instead he's entirely grey.
Okay.
Kind of how he looked when Thanos ripped the stone out of his head.
Okay.
But Black Panther's sister, Gerry, isn't it? She was working on him.
That's right.
And she was mapping his brain. Oh. And he's still in Wakanda. And he's made of vibranium. I mean, it opens up the ability to really possibly bring him back.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what...
Similar to how the comics are.
That leads us on to the next confirmed movie, and Kevin Feige did confirm that there is another one in production, and it's Black Panther 2.
Yes.
So that could be part of the premise
of
Black
that
Panther
could be
2.
part of that.
Yeah. Oh, see, now I like that. I really like
Here's
that.
a question for you guys. What do you think is the biggest... Like, you mentioned all these bad guys who died, and there's all these... What do you think is the biggest... Is like, oh, that's the biggest shame that he's gone, or she's gone?
Oh, now. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Originally I thought Loki, but now with Endgame, I don't think...
Now, I tell you what, we'll get back to Loki a little bit later on, because a bit there. What are bad guys? God, I don't know, actually.
This can be from any of the Marvel movies. It doesn't even have to be part of the universe. It could be like before and after. Like Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie. Do you think that could have been extended more?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I have to... Now, is Green Goblin... He's not included in... Is he included in the deal with Sony?
Well, they'd own the rights because he's a Spider-Man character, yeah, so...
Yeah, but Venom is as well.
Yeah.
But he's not in...
In that. No, because... They only sold... No, well, actually, they only sold certain rights to particular characters. So it was Peter Parker, Aunt May, MJ, and Ned. Apparently were the four main characters that were sold to Marvel. And that was it.
Because, you've hit a chord there with me.
Yeah.
I would love to see Green Goblin. A Green Goblin in... Yeah. I'd love to see Green Goblin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think he'd be fantastic.
Yeah, a properly done one.
Yes.
The same as I'd love to see... Dr. Doom done properly by Marvel in the universe, not the shitty versions that were in the Fantastic Four movies.
Well, you just know. Well, look what they did with Thanos.
Yeah.
How do you think they did with Thanos?
Great.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He really was.
He was always a threat.
Yes.
And even with or without the gauntlet, he was a threat.
Yeah. Big threat.
Like that's what you need.
Yeah. And I think Doom
can
would be just
one of those
big.
threats. But I mean, there's other characters as well, even if you take Fantastic Four, because they bought the rights. Galactus.
Yes.
He can be a massive threat, and he could be the next big bad.
Big
but,
one,
you know, like the version they did of Galactus before, which was a cloud floating around space, was shit as well. But
well, let's be honest, this is not the first time a movie studio has absolutely destroyed certain things.
No.
Look at Transformers.
This would be the first time Marvel have made it with these studios and Kevin Feige at the helm and that. So this would be a very different take or look at how to do it.
Yeah.
How to include them.
Doctor Doom for me.
Doctor Doom would be a great one. I'd love to see Doctor Doom done properly.
Doctor Doom, I see Galactus.
Yeah.
What you said, Green Goblin? Oh, Jesus, Green Goblin would be amazing. Now, what did you think of William Dafoe as Green Goblin?
I mean, it worked for what it was in those movies.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you look at William Dafoe and you just instantly think villain.
Yeah.
You do, you really do. Like, there's a lot of speculation that he could be a Joker in some way in DC.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
But I mean, then again, Marvel have done it in different ways as well. Like, if you look at Vulture, the way Vulture is in the comics to the way Vulture was done in Spider-Man Homecoming is very different. But I like the way they did Vulture in the movies.
Well, of course, because it was done by Michael Keaton.
Yes.
I will never hear a bad word said about him.
No, and he did a great job, but it's not at all like the character in the
He's
comics.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Because he has no powers in that.
Yeah.
And in the comics,
He does.
he drains your life force to keep himself young.
You see, but the thing is, I like the Michael Keaton version.
Yeah.
The fact that
Especially because they
he-
used the Chitauri.
Yeah, he used the tech from the
Yeah.
Chitauri stuff. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. But we move on. We continue on with the movies. Another one being Doctor Strange, and they've confirmed that there will be another Doctor Strange coming along the line. Obviously, there could be a lot of work, a lot of stuff to do with Doctor
There's
Strange.
so many things they could do with that, yeah. Like, depending on how they do and where they do. And like, but then again, I mean, they've also confirmed Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
No. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's as Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, but Thor is now with them.
Yes.
Obviously, so...
Well, you see...
But I mean, I'm looking at that as well and thinking, at the end of Endgame, Gamora goes missing.
Yes.
I have a feeling they're going to go looking for her.
Oh, they have to. Absolutely.
And that's obviously what...
It's going to be... Obviously, everyone else...
Peter's gonna do.
Everyone else on board is going to be a thing where, they want to go off and make some money.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were originally trying to do, make some money. And he's like, no. I want to go and search for the Gamora. And, you've got Thor there
But
now.
see, I have an idea on that as well, that the reason as well that Thor went with them is, one, Chris Hemsworth wanted to continue making Thor movies.
Yes.
And this extends the contract, brings them into new movies, and opens up, because the comedy stuff has been working so well with
It's been
Thor.
fantastic.
Having him alongside the Guardians of the Galaxy worked so well. In the other movies,
I never thought...
a full-size movie of them is going to be good.
Exactly. I never thought, from when you first see Thor, and throughout his 3 films and then every other thing that he's done, I never thought that at the end of it all, I could actually dress up as Thor.
Yeah.
Because I can
You
finally
can now,
do
yeah.
Thor. I can do Fat Thor. Yeah, sorry, Dave, you didn't see. I mean, Thor gets very fat,
I know that.
and he has a beard very similar to you.
The memes are unavoidable, to be fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But yeah, he's a beard very similar to you in the film,
Wait,
and he's really, really long hair. And then
He braids the beard.
well, the beard is fantastic when it gets braided.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't braid it. He summons bleeding the axe and the hammer and it's braided. Look at that,
Stormbreaker.
amazing.
Stormbreaker.
Sorry,
Mjolnir.
Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. Sorry,
Mjolnir.
Sounds like I have an idea for Halloween.
Yeah.
No, Dave, you're not fat. I'm fat.
I meant
You
normal
can do
Thor.
normal Thor. I will do Fat Thor. How dare you?
No, I meant normal
How
Thor.
dare you?
Normal Thor.
Yeah, normal Thor my arse.
Yeah, well, with Thor being with them as well, to me, it gives them a chance to introduce a character that they teased but didn't introduce yet, which is Adam Warlock.
That is something I wanted to bring up as well, because he was teased back in the end of as Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, obviously, it's been some time since we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm
a
going
lot has
to go
been
about
happening.
4 years.
Yeah, but a lot has been happening.
A lot of, obviously, they had to tie a lot in, so
Yeah.
they teased them at the very, very end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2
Yes.
when they said, "Oh, we've created this super being, Adam."
Yeah.
And that is
Adam
rumored to be
Warlock.
Adam Warlock. So tell us a little bit more about Adam Warlock, because it's something I don't know about.
Well, like, Adam Warlock in the comics is powerful enough to be able to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. So that's the level you're looking at.
Right.
So in my head, the reason Thor is with the Guardians of the Galaxy is because, especially down Gamora, they wouldn't be able to deal with the threat of Warlock if he catches up with them. But with Thor,
Well, yeah,
they
you've got a
have
superhuman
fairly
being.
level playing field.
Yes. Now,
So-
Adam Warlock, in the comics, is he a villain or is he a superhero? There's a bit of grey area here.
He's one of those that he moves between, it seems, yeah.
It's kind
Where
of
he's done stuff
It's kind
that
of like Loki. Not Loki was a bit more extreme because
Yeah.
he was only really good in maybe half a movie and that was about it.
no, it's more than that, but like
Okay, I'll give you
in
that.
Ragnarok, like he didn't do anything really that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I
And
mean.
he helps them and like
Yeah, okay, we'll give you 3/4 of the movie. That's all you get.
Yeah.
But so he's very grey
Well, that's
area.
the thing, that's
Adam
the way
Warlock.
he's done in the comics, but as you said, because they have different versions of this and ways of doing it, you don't know what way they're going to do it. It looks, and I would say in this, they're going to have him much more of just a villain.
Yeah.
If they bring him in.
That's what I'm assuming.
Which would make
because of
more
who's-
sense.
because who
Because why
created him.
introduce them and be like, oh, actually, yeah, let's be friends.
Yeah.
That's not going to work if
Exactly.
they've created him with the sole purpose of going after the Guardians. But I mean, he could have also been training for the last 4 years to learn to control whatever powers and things they've given him in the movies, which might not work across with that. But I mean, if he is on that kind of power level, that kind of power scheme, then he has to be.
Well, I definitely think you're right in terms of your 3 main motives for having Thor in. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth, he for a long time, and he very publicly said he wanted Thor 4.
Yes.
And that's what he wanted. He wanted Thor 4. And I think this was the way to placate him and say, listen, we can't give you Thor 4. We can't give you a standalone. But how about we get you with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and it opens up more
continues
things.
you on, and if you want to continue on from there, sure, we'll talk about it and we'll see where it goes.
They can also view on the popularity of how he is in those movies, and if he's doing very well, then it might be,
let's be
sense
honest,
to make a Thor 4.
Exactly. Well, let's be honest, two of the best parts about Infinity War and Endgame were his interaction with the crew of Guardians of the Galaxy, because absolutely fantastic.
Even his interaction...
Was it Sexy Pirate Man or something he was called, wasn't it? In Infinity War?
The Pirate God.
Pirate God.
Yeah, I think that's
Pirate God.
I think that's what Drax called him. The Pirate God.
Oh, just...
Love it.
Yeah. Who would have thought that Dave Bautista...
He's one of the funniest people in...
This big, huge wrestler... thinking, this is going to be a disaster. He won't be able to act. He's one of the best characters in all of Marvel right now.
Oh, yeah.
He is that good. He is so funny. Like, just Infinity War, when he's standing there.
Yeah, how long are you standing there? About an hour.
You can't see me. I'm moving so slowly. And then he starts eating stuff. Oh, it's fantastic.
I love when Mantis walks in even with that, and she's
Hi,
Drax! Damn it. He's
absolutely
so
brilliant.
Yeah.
So those are the confirmed movies that we're definitely going to get in the future. And obviously with Guardians of the Galaxy, there was a little bit of, was it going to happen, wasn't it going to happen? James Gunn,
and obviously James Gunn is back on board. He has already penned the script, and he has everything else, and obviously he's going to have Thor. And I mean, there's so many things that they left open as well, and so many things they can do with working from the end of Endgame, working from things like Adam Warlock being teased and that, which they don't have to go down that route.
No.
But Marvel don't tend to mention a character and
they don't
not bring them in.
away stuff. They don't
they don't tend to.
Actually, no, we'll just forget about that. No, everything they have done, from Iron Man all the way up now to Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home, has been planned. So even though they're saying, Kevin Feige said, no, we're not going to do this big 10-year plan, they still have plans.
Of course they do.
They still know what they're doing, so they're not just going to have a throwaway.
They're not just
like
making
that.
single movies and not going to hope they pen together. They're definitely going to be penned together. So
okay. So obviously we're talking about the confirmed movie. So let's talk about what's been rumoured. Now, obviously, you don't believe this next one is actually going to be made into a movie. You think it's a television series, and that's Black Widow. Yeah,
the Black Widow, as far as I know, is going to be Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a series, and obviously it's going to have to be pre-Avengers.
Yeah. Well, it has to be.
No, I don't mean pre-Endgame. I'm pre-Avengers.
Oh, yeah, no, this has to... For me, it's like... You're looking at that going... because she died in Endgame, obviously, they're not going to do something that automatically brings her back after Endgame.
No,
so
because there was a whole push on
that
she couldn't be brought back.
Yeah.
Because they spoke about it, and Bruce even says it at the end as well. She couldn't be brought back because of the way it was done. The same as Gamora couldn't be brought back either. So... it has to be before, but to me, the most logical series they could do is starting from her and Hawkeye meeting.
Yes. Now, with the rumours that are going around, they're saying now that, and there's been certain photos leaked from sets and whatever, is that they've already started filming this.
Yeah.
So
and apparently from those leaks, he's apparently been on set as well.
Exactly.
So
she definitely has a different look. She definitely has a younger look.
Yeah, because it could go all the way back to Russia.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And as we even said, during all the movies, they mentioned so many times Budapest.
We have to find out what
Surely
happened.
They have to go back to this.
We have to find out. So that actually leads us into another MCU rumour, is that the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
Is that Hawkeye is going to be part of it. So... assuming that this Black Widow is a series, you can almost say, right, well, let's just put the two of them together. They were a team in the MCU, so why not have them team up?
Yeah, but I mean, they've already said Disney Plus they're doing the Falcon and Winter Soldier series.
Well, that is confirmed.
That's confirmed.
100% confirmed. That is not rumour, that is confirmed.
No.
We just don't know exactly when they're going to be together.
Disney Plus have also confirmed a Loki series.
Yes, and that's another one I want to talk to you about as well. You talked about Loki earlier on, and how the possible, we saw him die in Infinity War.
Yeah, and he didn't come back.
Yeah, and didn't come back. He didn't come back from the snap. Nothing happened. But we did see him take the Tesseract in Endgame,
which technically should make a new timeline.
Yes. Well,
that he lives in.
Technically, it will make a new timeline.
Yeah, it should make a new timeline that he lives in. But this is the thing: we don't know whether the Disney Plus series, because that creates a new timeline, is that.
Yeah.
Or is that before? Or is that? But it gives them plenty more options. So I mean, who knows what they're going to do with that?
It gives them lots of room to maneuver.
Black Widow, they're very limited because it has to be before.
Well, yes, because she is.
So whether it's movie or TV series, it has to be before.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is probably going to be after. Because it just makes more sense. Because in the earlier movies, they didn't like each other.
Well, I don't see it being called Falcon and Winter Soldier then, because Falcon is not Falcon anymore.
True.
Or is he Falcon with a shield, or is he Captain America with wings?
Technically, you know, like, there's the whole question of when he handed over the shield, was he handing over the name too?
Yeah.
Because in the comics,
he does take up the mantle of Captain America.
After Winter Soldier does.
Yes.
He takes it up first. And then it's moved to Sam Wilson.
God, like... one of the people we had on the show there only a little while ago was Katie Harvey, and can you imagine if Winter Soldier was made into Captain America? Oh my God, she wouldn't be able to live. Because if you listen to Katie's one, she talks about her love for Winter Soldier and how she has integrated even him into her ring gear, which was fantastic. But also she loved Steve Rogers and Captain America. So if you combine both of them together in Winter Soldier, oh my.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the way the comics went, but it looks like they're not doing it. They're skipping doing that. But I mean, they could be just calling it Falcon and Winter Soldier because everyone knows the character is Falcon right now, and during the series it's him transitioning into Captain America. But again, we don't know what the series is about. We only know it's confirmed the series is being made.
Yes, exactly, there was another series now, and this is the only rumour of this happening, and this, to me, could tie into what you were saying earlier on, is the possibility that they're going to do a Scarlet Witch and Vision series. Yeah. For it as well. Yeah,
and
well, I mean, there's possibilities that are endless, because you could be before.
Well, yeah, because obviously we know they were missing for a while.
Yeah.
At the start of Infinity War. And I think they said it's been, like 2 years or something it's supposed to be. So that series could take place during those 2 years. Because we know Vision managed to make himself look human as well. Yes. So he's obviously learned new things during that time. It could be part of that. Or it could be, as I say, if I'm right and they do find a way to bring him back, then it could be at that. But yeah, I know that one's only a rumour as well at the moment, but...
rumours are good, though.
Yeah.
So many things.
Rumours are good, but they're even better when they end up being real.
Exactly. Now, there are a lot of rumours as well for possible future movies, because there are other characters in the MCU that haven't been confirmed that they're getting another sequel or a third or whatever it may be. But there's also the rumoured new characters coming into it as well. And we're not talking about any of the Sony stuff or any of the Fox stuff. There was two names that I was kind of doing a bit of research, and the one I have never heard of this character before, and I hope you can help me, is Shang-Chi. Am I right by that? Shang-Chi?
I think I know who you're talking about, but
it's not something that you would be knowledgeable of.
Not a huge amount, no.
Okay.
But
there was another one as well called the Eternals.
Yes, the Eternals.
Yes, okay. So there's a rumour that they're going to be brought into it now as well. Now, I have no clue about either Shang-Chi or the Eternals.
Well, the Eternals would be, if they follow on the same line, Nowhere.
Yes.
Which is the skull of an Eternal.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
No, see, didn't know that.
Right. So the Eternals are supposed to be... Maybe I didn't,
I just forgot.
Well... Oh, is that the Celestials, actually? Am I mixing the two up? No, I think they're the Eternals.
Okay.
One of them, anyway, is giant beings that lived before, and they're supposed to be there for the start of the universe, which is what created the Infinity Stones as well. And that's supposed to be the skull of one of them. And so that could be where they're going with that. But
well, the rumours are rife when it comes to MCU. And see, the thing is, this is when rumours start to get out of hand, because the simple fact is, people have seen the end of Endgame now, and they're like, oh God, it's like watching the end of Game of Thrones. What do I do with my life?
Yeah.
What now? So people are searching online frantically for new things. There's going to be a lot of shite. There's going
to be rumours of everything and every character. I mean, there was a comment made in Endgame where they were talking about when they had the holograms together, and they were talking to Natasha, and they were saying, and she was like, anything to report back, and each person was saying things. And at one point, someone said, like, oh yeah, there was like earthquakes rumoured under the water. Mm-hmm. Instantly everyone went, oh, Namor's coming in. But Namor's still owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could have a deal. They could be looking to make a deal.
Well, no, Fox is owned by Marvel now.
Yeah, so, like, or is it Sony? Well, someone else...
Probably Sony.
I think someone else owns them, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee he's going to come in either.
Yeah, well, there's
But I mean, in the comics, Namor...
What did you say the name was?
Namor.
I thought you were talking about that footballer. I know it's Neymar. I know it's Neymar.
No, Namor is a submariner.
Yeah, okay.
But he was always in the comics, or at least for a long time, he was a Black Panther villain.
A Black Panther villain?
Yes. Okay. So he was always against Black Panther, but then again, he was also heavily involved in Fantastic Four, which again, if they bring in Phase 5, could open up for bringing in Namor. But again, that could just be, they're just talking about things that are happening on the planet because shit's all over the place.
Yeah, so
it could be just a filling in a gap instead of not having a sentence of how's everything? Yeah, great. Yeah, like
I don't see. What's the name?
Namor.
Can I only imagine a superpower? He hurts his leg and ends up rolling and attacks everyone as a result.
I don't. There's some awful names of characters.
There really is.
I mean, if you think like the Nova Corps is supposed to be gone, but like there has been rumour of Nova.
Yes, now that is another name Nova. I have on my list here.
Yeah, which has the most hilarious real name,
which is
Richard Ryder, or if you shorten it, his name is Dick Ryder. I mean,
wow. Well, Dave, we're gonna have to. You're gonna have to play it again. Absolutely, because
is that really worth it?
If his name is if his actual name is Dick Ryder, then it's definitely gonna be moist. Dick Ryder.
Yeah, Richard Ryder is his full name, or Nova Prime is like at one point he went by, but like he wears the same kind of suit, the 3 dots light up, the helmet and that, but like he has slightly increased strength and has the ability of flight and little things like that, but that's where he is. So, but again, he was an Earthling.
So is this kind of going along the same lines as Captain Marvel type of?
Who knows?
Oh no! See, it just seems like you're repeating things there now in terms of.
Well, they could be, but we don't know how.
We don't know how they're going to do it because we didn't know Captain Marvel was going to be the way it was, and a lot of people. And I've talked to my lovely wife about this.
She doesn't listen. It's okay.
Oh, no. You see, this is just it. I actually had a conversation with her yesterday because she refused to listen to any of our Game of Thrones podcasts.
Okay.
Because she wanted to watch it unfiltered and she'd just watch it and be done. And then she comes out with the statement yesterday. Oh my God, I can listen to your Game of Thrones podcast now. I was like, you can, yeah, give it a listen. Let me know what you think. She says, oh, that's grand. New job. I can walk up to the new job and it'll be fine. And I said, well, I'm actually doing one this week with Vic and, Marvel and whatnot. Oh, definitely, I'll give that a listen. So now she's going to listen to me giving out about her. But basically, she did not like Captain Marvel. So what did you think of Captain Marvel?
I liked it. I mean, I've been waiting on that character to be introduced for a while. Absolutely. And I always liked the character of Carol Danvers. But then again, Carol Danvers in the comics is quite funny because if you look at the X-Men, she's heavily involved with them. Mm-hmm. Because the Rogue we saw in the movies, of what has been done before, is very different to the Rogue that you would know from the comic books and that. Mm. So the Rogue in the comic books had the ability of flight, super strength and things like that. She got them by taking Carol Danvers' powers.
Right, okay.
That's why she's so strong.
So now when she did that, what happened to Captain Carol Danvers?
Well, the whole idea of Rogue is normally she touches someone for a couple of seconds, takes their powers, and then like she has a small amount of time to use it. With Carol Danvers, she held on for too long, and she put her in a coma.
Right.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. So. Who knows if they're going to go down that path?
Yeah, well, I doubt it.
But the introduction of the X-Men, if they come in as well, does open that as well to have powers taken.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about that. Actually, obviously we've now learned. Fox have taken over. Marvel have taken over Fox, and they have rights to X-Men.
Yeah.
They have rights to Fantastic Four, and they have rights to Deadpool.
Yeah.
So in terms of the X-Men, obviously this week, I think it's this week, Dark Phoenix comes to the cinema, and that's going to be the last X-Men that will be made by Fox.
Yeah, and I think the only one that doesn't feature Wolverine.
Wow. He was in the last one, wasn't he?
This is the
No, it was
only one.
It was basically a cameo.
Doesn't matter. He cameoed in another one as well, but I think this is the only X-Men movie made where he does not feature.
Is that going to be like a Stan Lee though, and just appear of nowhere, just look behind or something like that? No.
Well, no, he did that in first class.
First class.
Because
Basically, he was like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
That's what it was. He's
like, my name is Eric Lenshaw, and this is Charles Xavier. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
that was his introduction. That was everything he did in the movie, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
All you need is a Hugh Jackman cameo. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Your film is fantastic after that.
But this will be the first one without a Wolverine appearance.
Well, how would you know that?
Because
but how would you know?
How
do you know?
Right, in front of Dave, and with people listening, I'll put a tenner on it right now.
Okay.
He's not in it.
No, I'm not betting on this because the last time I put a bet on something, I lost miserably. So I'm not
bet
doing
under
that.
the fan, lads.
I bet on. Oh, go ask me, Art. No, not.
So you're not confident?
No, absolutely
not.
not. No, but see, I'm because I don't know. I
haven't seen the movie. It's not out yet.
I don't know. There's no guarantee because actually we were talking about this yesterday.
That
we're talking about he's in fantastic
Jackman's in
shape.
amazing shape again.
So
yeah.
who's to say he hasn't done a cameo and he's just kind of keeping
I
that
still
up?
think if he's doing that, it's because he's eventually going to appear in a Deadpool movie.
Well, that has to happen.
Because they have already confirmed they are going to keep Deadpool completely separate and R-rated, which is perfect. Yeah, because if they decided to bring him in to the normal X-Men continuity, it would ruin the genius part of what has been Deadpool. But
you see, for me, I absolutely want to see more Deadpool, and I want to see more Deadpool the way he has been portrayed. I want to see that rated or rating. I want to see that, but I also want to see him interact with other characters in it. I would love to see him interact with.
But I mean,
Spider-Man. I would love him.
Well,
Spider-Man.
that was always done in the comics a lot, and it's always hilarious.
Him and Guardians.
Imagine him and the Guardians. That would be fantastic. Like even him and Thor.
Yeah.
Just how funny would that be? Like him trying to pick. He doesn't have the hammer. No, Thor has Stormbreaker, and that's not a wordy thing, is it?
No,
is that a wordy
that can just be picked up.
I picked up by anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine him like trying to pick it up, and it's like it's not because he's not wordy, it's because it's just too heavy.
Yeah.
You know, that type of stuff would be fantastic. I'm excited to see more Deadpool. You know, Ryan Reynolds, he is Deadpool.
Yeah, he is.
And we saw what way he was treated so badly in X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
It was so badly done. But then, you know, he said
and
himself.
that Wolverine one, it was awful.
Yeah, absolutely horrible. Not X-Men Origins, Wolverine Origins. That's a big one. But I think we're on the same page here in terms of you're going to see Hugh Jackman in a Deadpool movie.
I think even if it's a small cameo at some point,
it has to be something.
I mean, because the two of them are always kind of teasing stuff as well and talking about things. And Ryan Reynolds has been saying for years he's been pushing to try and get Hugh Jackman into the movie at some point. So even if it's only a small cameo,
the fact that even like the two of them own companies. One I think is a coffee company. There's a vodka company or a gin company.
Yeah,
something
gin.
Like that.
Yeah.
The fact that they did advertisements together for both of them, you know what I mean? So they're obviously really good friends. Also, another thing that makes me think he's definitely doing something with Wolverine is the fact that he's been doing this tour of
the Hugh Jackman tour.
Hugh Jackman tour is absolutely fantastic. My wife went to it last week and she said it was one of the best things she'd ever seen live. And in a part of it, now I don't know whether he did it in Dublin, but a part of it he took a set of drumsticks and did the Wolverine pose with the drumsticks right in the middle of the stage. He's like, that's something. He's like, that's something.
I mean, he's just so known for the character.
Yeah,
that could just be doing fan service, but...
Just give me this one, you arsehole. Let's just say he's coming back in some way.
That'll be the hope,
whether it be...
is that Hugh Jackman appears in Deadpool, not in the normal X-Men continuity.
No.
Because
you know, I wouldn't mind
it releases them then to do R-rated as well.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't mind.
Because as they said as well, in like the first class and that, there was only allowed one kind of like F-bomb or things like that, that it meant the rating could stay down.
Yeah.
And there was an argument over who got it. And of course, Hugh Jackman's the person that got it with his "go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
So, and of course, when the next time there was a fuck dropped, it was Xavier.
Yeah.
And he looked at Wolverine and he said, "What was it you told me? Go fuck yourself." And he got to turn it around that time. And it's like, but again, it was the only one in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's very limited. But
it'll be interesting to see if that actually does happen. There was obviously two movies I wanted to talk about as well. Is that possibility, you know, there's been no talk about it, and obviously it's gonna happen, is Captain Marvel 2. Has to happen.
Yeah, I think there's already been a confirmation of that, or has it not?
That now I couldn't find details on that. I couldn't find details on that, and I couldn't find details on if they're going to do Ant-Man 3. Now, what did you think of
See, I've seen a rumour of that they're going to do an Ant-Man 3, but they're going to do a separate Wasp movie.
Ooh.
That they're going to be two completely different movies. And there's also been a rumour of the shot at the point where all the kind of women of Marvel were together in that one shot. That is a
fantastic shot.
That there's a talk of doing that as a movie.
Wow. Oh, wow. Now, are we talking... Now, when you say all, are we talking about Iron Pepper here?
Rescue.
What's that? That's what she's called?
Rescue. She's in the comics as Rescue.
Okay.
That's, when she wears that armor, she's Rescue.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, see, now I didn't know that. You see,
Yeah.
I just like Iron Pepper.
No, Rescue.
Rescue. I love how they did that in
Yeah, but I mean,
in
if
the
you
movie.
have Rescue, Wasp, you've Black Panther's sister, you've Valkyrie, you've Captain Marvel, like you've got quite a lot of women in it as well. You've got Scarlet Witch. You've got like a lot of very powerful characters.
And then Captain Marvel as well in the mix.
I said Captain
Oh,
Marvel. Yeah.
well,
That's what I
I
mean,
obviously
you've got-
wasn't listening, Alan.
Yeah, you got some of the most powerful characters in it.
Yeah.
So because you do as well, they could do an entire movie that way, and it could be a very good movie. And like, who knows what? If they do that version or a series of those movies, who they bring in as the main protagonists against them. So
You've possibilities are endless when it comes to this. Obviously, we've talked about the Disney Plus stuff and so much going on there, and the fact is that everything that you're going to see on Disney Plus is directly going to impact anything in the MCU.
well, yeah, that's what they've said, because the other, as we said, like the Netflix series of like Marvel, Defenders, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, none of them impacted or seem to have any kind of like mix really in with the main MCU, even though stuff that happens in the main MCU is mentioned
In it, yeah.
in the series. But yet Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does seem to interact pretty much closely or almost identically with the movies.
Well, if that's the case, you'd imagine that come the release of Disney Plus, that's then going to be on the Disney Plus service.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be, doesn't it?
Well, who knows?
Yeah. Well, see, there's a lot.
Well, obviously, all the Netflix series are gone now.
Yeah.
So-
Well, yeah, they were. But they yeah, it's sad though.
Yeah.
Because, like,
But
you
it
know-
means nothing can be made for 2 years, because I think that was part of the contract.
Oh. So we don't know what's going to happen.
So for the next 2 years, Marvel can't make a Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, any of those series.
Does it mean they can't make them now? They just probably won't be released for like another 2 years, like maybe.
Well, yeah,
That's
Yeah, they could probably start filming, but they can't actually officially. It's something like
Send
2
it out
years.
there,
It's-
yeah.
There's some sort of clause with Netflix that because Netflix were making the series, that although Marvel still obviously own the rights, that it can't still be made across. So
Okay. Right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to put it to you now. There's a lot there, and there's so much that literally they could go off in hundreds of different directions.
yeah,
What, in your opinion, what would you like to see? What would you like? You know, is the introduction of Wolverine and the X-Men into it to interact with the other characters? Is it a thing that you're going to keep them standalone? Is it other characters that we haven't seen yet? What would you personally like to see in the future? What was like a big standout thing for you?
I'd like to see the Fantastic Four brought in.
And be made properly.
Be made properly, because also that opens up Doc Doom. I would like to see Doc Doom as one of the main bad guys going forward.
Yeah.
Because he's a great character. If he's done properly, it could be a really, really good character. And it could be a serious threat.
Okay, well, let's do some fantasy booking here, okay? Let's say they're bringing in Fantastic Four, they're bringing in Doctor Doom. Who do you have playing? That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Let's just go with Doctor Doom for now. Who would you have play Doctor Doom?
I don't know.
That's
the problem.
a hard one, isn't it?
You see, I haven't put that kind of thought into
Yeah.
it. I just, as the characters themselves, I'd like to see them in. But who to play them is very tough, because obviously Marvel are very, very, very good at who they cast.
Yeah.
They don't seem to just cast someone willy-nilly and go, oh yeah, they'll kind of fit the bill. They seem to be very strict on their casting.
May I make a suggestion?
Go on.
Mark Strong.
Now you're going to have to...
Mark Strong is the bad guy
Mark
in
Strong.
Shazam. Dr. Zhivago.
Well, that kind of ruins it straight away then, if he's a bad guy and...
DC.
No, he's
Well,
DC.
DC.
Yeah, he's DC.
That's DC. Shazam's DC. So that doesn't actually affect it at all. Because if you think about it, Cable, Thanos,
Yeah.
same character, but,
Mark Strong?
you know, or same guy, not same character, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Mark Strong. Ooh.
Mark Strong is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I really like that.
Here's a weird one. Mads Mikkelsen.
I like him.
Oh, yes.
That's
I
actually
like
better.
him as a
Oh,
character.
my God, yes. Oh.
Well, that's the thing as well, because Doctor Doom was supposed to be from Latveria.
Oh, he's
Foreign.
He's Eastern European, is he?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, actually, he rules the country.
Or
He owns it,
Or Scandinavian.
essentially.
Oh, yes.
Jesus, I'm giving you orgasms for villains.
I tell you,
here.
if we hadn't used Moist already, I'd get you to use it again. That's... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that. Oh, the possibilities are... Oh, wow,
We'll
yes.
stick with Mads Mikkelsen for now then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, Kevin, if you're listening... Sorry, I beg your pardon, Mr. Feige. If you're listening, you need to get... you need to get him on board. Absolutely. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
He's such a great actor. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be amazing. So, is there anything else that you would like... Anything else that you would like to see?
Character-wise, or...
Literally anything to do with Marvel. Anything that you say, oh, I wish they'd done that, or I wish they'd introduced this person, or... Obviously, we've got Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You've got Doctor Doom. For me, Doctor Doom would be... Oh, wow.
Doctor Doom was like one of the main characters I'd like to see introduced. I mean, as I said, I even said like Galactus would be a good major one, because also that gives you Silver Surfer or any of his other heralds to come in as well, which again, like, I mean, the Silver Surfer, the way he was done in those Fantastic Four movies was crap. But you could also link into that, because realistically you could do a whole offset of movies following his heralds.
Yeah.
And it
You do
opens
their
up
individual
more,
movies,
like,
yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, there's more stuff they could do with that, with the characters as they bring them in, if they bring them in, or how they do them.
Yeah.
But, again, as I said, hopefully they don't, if they bring in someone, they don't just do what they've done before, which is bring in a character for one movie and kill him.
Yeah.
Because then it's a waste.
There are certain characters you just don't want to see that happen.
No, and like, if they brought in Doctor
Doom to
Doom
be killed, basically.
for one, and they kill him, it'd be an absolute waste of a character.
He needs... I think Doctor Doom needs to be the next Thanos. That's what needs to happen. He needs to be the
Well,
next
this is
Thanos.
the thing, they need a next Thanos.
Yes. Well, they do, because Thanos is... He got clicked into existence.
But I mean...
Or out of existence.
I mean, Adam Warlock can be close to that level of a threat as well, though.
Yeah.
As we said, if he comes in, but he may be stuck more in the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of storyline rather than the main.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, there's so many. Like, for me, I think... I don't know whether it would happen, but I mentioned earlier on, it was the one thing for me that was good about the original Spider-Man trilogy, and that was Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I would love to see Doc Ock.
I'd like to see the
in
Sinister
MCU.
Six brought in.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Now, who was in... You've got Doc Ock.
Right, so Doc Ock, Electro...
Yeah.
Well, if you're going by the original...
Yeah, let's go through it.
You had Mysterio,
Yeah,
who has now been introduced.
yes,
Vulture,
yeah,
Sandman,
yeah.
and Kraven.
Now, correct me if... No, I know...
Kraven was killed and replaced by Hobgoblin.
Oh.
You see, so you have a different variation. And then at another point, someone else was brought in as well. But I mean, they've done different variations of it. And at one point, there was even a Sinister Seven. But, don't... Nah.
But you see, you've already got two. that
Yes,
are now
you've got
being
Mysterio
introduced.
and Vulture
Yes.
already exist.
And it's also been confirmed that Michael Keaton's Vulture is in Spider-Man 2.
Yes. So we know he wasn't killed off, obviously.
No, he wasn't
right?
killed off.
Mysterio, if he's not killed off as well, which would be a shame if he was, you then have, I say, Doc Ock, Sandman, Electro, and possibly Hobgoblin, even do it as that Sinister Six, would be a major
Amazing.
threat.
Yeah.
Which would also mean that if Spider-Man's there, he's probably going to have to bring in more
Yeah. Bit of backup.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that, like, he has often worked with people like Nova.
Yeah.
So...
See, that's far too much. That's far too much.
Yeah, but you don't know how they're going to
Yeah.
play this. And, like, Mysterio could be a one-off character. Like, if he's from a multiverse, he might not get killed, he might just get sent back to his universe.
Yes.
And that's how they move him out of it. And then that's him gone.
Oh, there's far too much. Far too much. But...
And I still think he's going to be the bad guy in Spider-Man.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I just think it's... They're making him out to be too good in the trailer.
That's the thing. He looks like instantly he's working with Fury, he's working with Spider-Man, he's doing everything to help, and
but he's manipulating. That's what it looks like. Absolutely.
And to me, I think it's a manipulation on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, that, like, the guy who is Quentin Beck is the real name of Mysterio. He is, you know, supposed to be intelligent and creates these illusions, and he was never magical, but it looks more magical. It looks very similar in the trailers, anyway, to how Doctor Strange is.
Yes.
But again,
to me,
that
looks
can
like
be an illusion.
Yeah, to me, it looks like a cross between Doctor Strange and a bit of Captain Marvel, because it seems like he's flying around.
Yeah.
He's kind of shooting stuff from his fists. It does look very destructive.
Yes.
Whereas, as you're saying in the comics, he's not in any way like that.
He's more illusions, much more illusions, and tricks people into things or doing things. And so, if that is still the same character and it is done that way, then again, because it's a multiverse, he doesn't have to have the same powers.
Yeah. Actually, I just kind of thought of something there. You're saying that if they were to introduce the Sinister Six, which a lot of people were talking about after the Amazing... Was it the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
That was the Andrew Garfield one?
Garfield one, yeah. And a lot of people were going crazy over the fact that he had found all the evidence of
yes,
the
understore where it
exactly.
looks, yeah.
And you're saying that maybe if they were to introduce them, he might need a bit of backup.
Yeah.
That then brings us back to the possibility that
of Venom.
Because
he's a good guy in this kind of version. Yes, exactly.
So let's fantasy book that. You've got Tom Hardy and Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Teaming up by Spider-Man
and we already have a tease of Carnage.
Yes, we've got a tease of Carnage already. Woody Harrelson. That looks
good.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. But again, we don't know what way that's going to go.
Exactly, we haven't a clue.
Because the two of them could be at ends with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what the way
because
it looks
they're a
to me.
standalone movie, like that's the chances they are going to be at ends with each other. They're not going to be teaming together, they're going to be against each other.
Yeah. But then you look at, let's say, right, Sinister Six looks like possibility coming in. You've got two of them so far.
But then again, they could slowly introduce them and say that, like, Mysterio and Vulture work together.
Yeah.
And then as that happens, Eddie Brock appears, and then it's 2-on-2, and then they add a Hobgoblin, and then, right, they need to find a third, and it just continues to escalate and go from there. But
and then there's, Doc Ock.
Because you still have Nick Fury involved with now Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he could be helping in the background to recruit other people to join him.
Then you've got the possibility of anyone that we've already seen. You've got...
obviously coming back as well and helping.
Falcon, you've got Winter Soldier, anyone else that's still hanging around, you know what I mean?
Plus, you've got a lot of people that have aged on a lot more, like Hawkeye's kids.
Yeah.
Like his daughter, he was teaching to shoot a bow and arrow in Endgame, and he calls her Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. There you go, see?
Yeah.
So a new Hawkeye in the future...
Which, in the comics, his daughter does take over as Hawkeye as well. And I mean, then again, you have Scott Lang's daughter is now grown up.
She's grown up now, yeah.
And she always wanted to help as well. We've already seen a Wasp and Ant-Man. Why can't we have another person in the suit?
No, in the comics, what was she? Was she
I don't know if she's anything in the comics. I'm not that much on Ant-Man. You see, Ant-Man in the comics was done a very different way as well, because Ant-Man in the comics is not really Scott Lang until much, much later on.
It is... Say the name for me. Who was Ant-Man before Scott Lang?
No, my mind's gone blank.
Yeah, some expert he is, Dave. What? Jeez.
I can't sit here and say that much myself, to be honest with you. I'm lost as well.
Hank Pym. Yeah, Hank Pym. Hank Pym is Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And then he's Giant Man, and then he's Yellow Jacket, and then he goes through a couple of different variations, where
he's
the
also
movies,
not very nice in the comics, is he?
He beats his wife and does a lot of other questionable things that we won't go into, but Yellow Jacket in the movie was Cross.
Yeah.
In the comics, it's Hank Pym.
Hank Pym, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, far too many ideas, far too many possibilities.
Yeah, but they've already changed the timeline. Marvel have of having Scott Lang now as the younger person taking it over, and Hank Pym being much older, because they obviously had him working with Howard Stark and all that, which works well for the timeline, but it changes the comic book timeline, and era of when he would have been.
Yeah.
Because Hank Pym is not that much older than Tony Stark. Because in the comics, Ultron is built from Hank Pym and Tony Stark's mind, not Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
No, and he is not built in the same way. It's Hank Pym that is ultimately responsible for Ultron.
Oh, you see, that's a big twist there.
That's a
big
massive
thing,
change.
yeah.
But again, when I knew Ant-Man was coming in, I was expecting him to be introduced, and that's how in Age of Ultron, and be introduced that way, and that's how Ultron got created. But then Ultron had finished, and he still hadn't existed, and I was like, where's Ant-Man?
Yeah, so they went a completely different way.
That's what I mean, they go a very different way. Although the comics are there as a reference, or as a starting point, or as an idea, they can just take a character anyway. They own it, and they can do whatever they want afterwards. Realistically, so
you know, obviously some films haven't been as good as others, but I personally think there hasn't been a really bad one.
No, I mean, I think the worst Marvel movie is probably Thor 2. The Dark World, the Dark Elf one was not the strongest of that.
No, God no. But it's still watchable though.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, I mean, and it is called back in Endgame as well, and like but. Yeah, it's not the strongest of the movies, and then when you look at that to like Ragnarok, like a whole different level.
Yeah, Ragnarok was amazing.
Yeah,
like probably one of the best Marvel movies that was ever created. Absolutely.
Yeah, and some of the new characters like Korg and Meek and all being introduced are great.
They're so good.
They're brilliant, and they're still in Infinity War and Endgame, and they're still around.
That's fantastic. It really, really was. But I tell you what. Vic, thank you very much for coming in. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things that could happen.
Of course there is. As I said, in 6 months, a year, we could be sitting down looking at the next batch of movies, what's already confirmed, what's happened in the next few movies, and it could completely change everything we thought and be like, no, we're so far off.
It could come completely upside down.
You know,
like
I said, in the next 6 months, I could go, do you know what? Although we're not going to introduce them until this phase, we're going to do a Doc Doom movie, and then all of a sudden that, like, yeah,
mind
you know, we're going to do a Galactus movie, we're going to do an Adam Warlock movie, we're going to focus on, like,
let's focus on the bad guys rather than the good guys.
Yeah, they absolutely. Well, I mean, they're already doing a Loki series.
Yeah, there you go.
So
absolutely.
That's essentially focusing on a bad guy.
For me, I think that's what I'm probably looking forward to the most is the Loki series.
I like Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Is great casting as well. And I mean, I think if he had originally been cast as Thor, which is what he went for, it would have been a very weird.
Oh God, no!
Did you never see the screencast of him in a blonde wig holding Mjolnir? Yep.
Oh my God!
No, that would be terrible.
He went in, he read for it, he got through to a point where he actually is costumed up as Thor, and they decided against it. And when, of course, then he was told that he hadn't got it, they did tell him at that point, "Don't leave, though. We have an idea." And they're like, "What do you think about taking Loki?" And they offered Loki to him.
But he is it's like
he's Ryan Reynolds, good as Loki.
It's like Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. No one else could play it. It's like Hugh Jackman Wolverine. More than likely, if they're going to introduce X-Men, they're going to introduce Wolverine, and if it's not Hugh Jackman,
who's it going to be?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
That's the thing.
Is Iron Man.
There was a lot of questions about when Hugh Jackman said he was hanging up the gloves and such, and that he wasn't going to do Wolverine anymore. There was questions of, well, he's been one of the most bankable characters in the X-Men franchise across, because as I said, he's appeared in pretty much every movie, bar, I think, this movie.
Yes.
Right? But it was a case of when he goes, who can step in? Who can take over
have you guys heard
his mantle?
Have you guys heard the rumours of Daniel Radcliffe as possibly being Wolverine?
Dave, there's a door there. I want you to get the fuck out.
Listen, it's a rumour.
But I mean, then again,
it's got to be an April 1st fucking rumour.
It's not a rumour. It's been confirmed now that Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman.
A lot of people pissed off at that. That does not piss me off in the slightest. Let's give the guy a chance. But no, Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine.
Well, hold on now.
Oh, come on.
Right. Ben Affleck was 6'4" and about 260?
Yeah.
Playing Batman?
Yeah.
What's Robert Pattinson?
6'8", 6'4", and about 160.
Yeah, he's a shite.
In bleeding stills, he would be.
Who's he carrying them up his way?
No, but see, that's just it. But no, it does not piss me off in the slightest.
Right.
Because I've already seen images of him getting buffing up.
If he is supposed to be in that, how is it a new reset?
I haven't a clue.
Because
personally, I'd like to
how
see...
could you stand him next to like someone like Henry Cavill and expect him to have a match?
No, you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. But personally, what I would like to see is... Now, if this is the case, it just means that DC are as chaotic as we all think they are. But let's talk, Batman... Is it Batman Beyond? Where
The series?
you've got an older Batman.
Yes.
And
Terry McGinnis.
Michael Keaton play older Batman. You have...
Robert Pattinson.
Thank you, Glittery Vampire.
Yeah.
Play the new Batman.
Yeah, Sparkle Batman.
Batman. Please, God, no nipples.
No. It'll
nipples.
just have sparkles instead of nipples.
Oh, Vic, for God's sake. But,
It'll be stars instead or something like that.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, there've been so many different Batmans. There's like so many different James Bonds and things like that. But there are certain people... they are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
There cannot be another Iron Man unless it's a complete reboot. And there's not going to be a new reboot. There's not going to be a new Iron Man because they're not going to reboot it.
No.
Because they're going to continue on with the phases that they've got.
Yeah, and honestly, you've got
same...
Rescue, which is Pepper Potts' character, and then you have Morgan exists now as well.
Yeah, but for me, the perfect replacement for Iron Man is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's got the Iron Spider.
He does. And he was kind of being groomed of Tony as his successor anyway, so...
Yeah. See, I need to go home and have a sleep after all of that. Just the sheer amount of information there has been fantastic. But Vic, thank you very much for coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you in. We will have you in again. I think you're going to become one of our regular contributors, I think. You're just looking at me and smiling going,
He's a Joey DST or Joe Rogan.
Hey! I'm not getting stoned.
I was going to say, I don't know who
you could be
after.
You could be after all the injustice, to be fair. Whereas I'm just Jamie in the background.
Yay!
I'm just the guy that reads a lot of comic books. So.
Well, come here. As we were talking about, not last week, the week before, nerdy at one point or another, being a nerd was bad. Look at that nerd. It was a bad thing. It's not a bad thing anymore. Everyone's a nerd. It all depends on what you're nerdy about. Some people are nerdy about football.
Yeah.
Some people are nerdy about comic books. Some people are nerdy about games. There's nothing wrong with the term anymore. People are nerdy about something. So you're nerdy about comic books, and there's absolutely nothing
comic
wrong with
books,
that.
Games, Dragon Ball, quite a few.
There you go.
things.
Oh God, you're a nerd.
Yeah.
But Vic, thank you very much for coming in. We will have you back in again. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that one. A lot to take in. But I tell you what, if you have any ideas, any views, or anything like that, get me on Instagram at Gerry. Talk nerdy to me. But from Vic, from myself, and from Dave, you've been nerdy, I've been Gerry. Thanks very much for listening. I'll see you next time.